Hi, and Shabbat Shalom. In this week's Torah portion, we have a very unique word when it talks about the Jews conquering the cities and Sichon and so on, and it uses the word Kiryah. Now, in modern Hebrew, it's used to discuss and describe a little settlement, a village, and they use the word Kiryah. But in the Torah, it's not a usual word that's used. And the Bible scholars, the Torah scholars discuss, what does this word really mean? So it says that it means a city, a large city actually. But what does it mean? Why they come to that conclusion? And I would like to share with you a fascinating insight. At least I find it to be fascinating. And it means as follows. The Torah is trying to teach us a lesson of it. It's not just telling us that there were wars and the Jews were able to conquer and become stronger than the other people. There's so much more to the Torah. We have to always remember the Torah is here to teach us lessons, not just to tell us about different battles that were going on. See, the people of Sichon were here to try to conquer the Jews, and the Jews were here to conquer them. This was a battle going on, but it was not just a physical battle, it was actually a spiritual battle. What happened was, let me take you back a little bit to a bigger picture that we discussed last week and a few weeks ago about the cities of refuge that the Jewish people had. You see, what happens, the Torah tells us, what happens if somebody inadvertently kills another person? Now, we know that there's no such a thing of somebody making a mistake. They were negligent about something. Something happened. And we know that, of course, that doesn't mean to say as intent that somebody went and intentionally goes and kills somebody else, God forbid. We're not talking about those kind of murder cases. We're talking about a case of negligence. The Torah talks about a person who takes an axe and starts chopping the wood and the top piece goes flying off, meaning to say that they were not careful to make sure that the axe was connected properly. Or somebody climbs the ladder and by mistake falls off the ladder, meaning to say they were not being careful when they were climbing the ladder. Or today I would say somebody goes driving a car on the highway and goes and kills somebody, God forbid, in a car accident, which we could say they was probably going too quickly, or they were on their cell phone texting while driving, and so on and so forth, which obviously means to say that's an act of negligence. But nevertheless, this is clearly an inadvertent act. So what the Torah tells? The Torah tells this in times at the temple, that we created something called a city of refuge. It means say this is a voluntary place of, I want to call it prison. This is a voluntary city that you go to protect yourself, that no one should come and kill you. Now here's the interesting thing. What is a city of refuge like? This is not a place of punishment. This is a place that you go to live. And not only that, we don't want a person to be secluded in this place together with other criminals like you. No. This is a place of inclusion. Not seclusion, but inclusion, meaning to say as follows. If the majority of the city comes to be full of criminals like you, full of inadvertent sinners, then we have to import, listen to this, we have to import people that are holy people. We have to import scholars. We have to import what the Torah tells us, Kohanim and Leviim, the priests and the Levites. In other words, these are the spiritual leaders of the Jewish people. We have to bring in the scholars, the teachers, the people are going to inspire you to do more Torah mitzvot, which is a fascinating lesson to me. Meaning to say that we don't ever want to seclude or push away the people who do sins, even if they are inadvertent sinners. We want to include those people into the fabric of society. Not only that, we want to lift them up to the highest spiritual level. That's what the Torah is all about. So in other words, we want to bring the Jewish people united together as one. Never push them to the side, always bring them together as one. And this is what the Torah is trying to teach us. There is no such a thing of a kiryah. There's no such a thing of a small little village that's not part of the rest of the Jewish people. It's an it's a city. It's part of the greater population. It might physically be small. It might be a small little village, but it's part of the greater city. And this is what the Jewish people said, is that we are united as one. When we go to war, yes, there might be some soldiers doing the battle, but they're always connected to the greater Jewish people. And this is how they broke through to the other nations of the world. If they saw a small village, because they were not united with the rest of their nation. And that's how we became one. So when we look around the world, we have to always know, if we want to be strong, we have to be united. We never seclude people, we always include them. Shabbat Shalom.